All right, guys, welcome on in. Happy to see that you guys have made it halfway through the week. And I'm gonna just get right into the stream. Actually, before I do, I want to address a couple things. And I'm gonna pull this up so you can see because TikTok seemingly is a part of or doing something that's a bit sinister, in my opinion, and kind of very, very off-putting. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean, and it's specifically towards the things that I feel like they don't want people discussing. And who the they is, we don't know yet. We're trying to figure that out. We have an inkling, but nobody really knows. But when it comes to getting to the bottom what's going on with this Charlie Kirk situation, and talking about the things that's other than what the FBI is putting out or what they think we should talk about, it's really, really hard getting your information out. And I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. So I'm gonna switch over and go to my TikTok, right? Here's my TikTok. I'm very very small channel, very new at what's going on. I'm trying to get everything built. But as you can see, I have 606 followers. And of those 606 followers, most of these people are following me for the content that I put out as far as maybe conservative base, even though I'm not really conservative, or right leaning. And the whole point of social media in the algorithm is to push out your content to the people that's looking for it. So by that logic, at least the 606 people or a percentage of those 606 people should be able to see the content that I put out, no matter what it is, because I'm putting out right leaning or I'm putting out conservative based viewpoints. So let me show you what Instagram is doing. Like Instagram is not what's the word I'm trying to say? They're not innocent of this either. But I'm specifically talking about TikTok. And the reason why this is so important is because there are rumors that a certain country is trying to get rights to TikTok, and that country we know is trying to limit the things that they want people to see, or if they're not agreeing with it, they don't want it out on social medias and specifically TikTok. So before I get into my actual story today, I want to show you what they did. So I did a post maybe about 45 minutes ago, and the post is pretty much what we're going to be talking about in the stream. The post was about Charlie's Kirk security detail and why we should have a closer look at him. And the first time I posted this video, it's a short, maybe a minute and 40 seconds, minute and 30 seconds. Immediately, whenever I posted it, it immediately was deleted by TikTok. I didn't have anything gory. It was just a picture. I didn't have anything showing Charlie Kirk's assassination attempt. I didn't show it wasn't even the shot. None of that. It was just a photo of their security and the person that everybody's talking about right now, which is the guy in the gray. And immediately when I posted that, it was deleted. So I went to go look at the guidelines and see why it was deleted. It said that something about the it could be harmful to the viewing public, blah blah blah. So what I did was I changed the caption and I just took off the caption of what I had. I just made it very very short. So this time instead of deleting it, they limited the post to nobody being able to see it. As you can see, this has been up. This post has been up for maybe 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and it's showing that I only have one view on this post in 55 minutes. I'm gonna refresh it now just to show you again. It may have picked up by now. Let's see, which I doubt it. But look, three views within an hour, and we know that that is not the case. That should be happening when the people that's following me is following me for the content that I put out. So they can say that they're limiting this because people don't want to see it. So yeah, that just feeding into the whole narrative of what's going on now with Charlie Kirk and his security because for some reason They do not want you talking about the security that was surrounding Charlie on the day that he was assassinated. So let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a good day. All right, so let's move on to the first thing. So initially, shortly after Charlie Kirk's assassination attempt, no, I'm saying attempt after his assassination. Why did I say attempt? The internet got to work and looking at all the footage that was put out, and initially there was some speculation about Charlie Kirk's security team. We know that this guy's a part of the team, which was doing some questionable things. This guy was a part of the security team that was doing some questionable things. And in my opinion, out of everybody that was there that day, this guy right here in the gray shirt did the most gruesome and questionable thing that anybody could have done that day. And in my opinion, and this is in my opinion, out of all the things that I've seen so far, what he's done has made should make him one of the leading suspects in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And we're gonna get into exactly why I'm saying that. Now, initially, we were talking a lot about this guy. I think he had a hat on whenever Charlie was doing his speech and talking to the kids on the university. And I'm sorry, I should be recording this right now as well. Yeah, and at first we tried to we listened to those conspiracies, or those, I'm not going to call it conspiracy, but we listened to those theories initially, and we were kind of skeptical about the movements, but we wasn't really like full on to like paying attention to the security detail. Even though the little hand gestures and the touching the hat and all that stuff, it seems a little weird at that time, but we kind of glanced over it because a little bit after that, FBI came out and made the announcement that they found the person that was responsible for the killing of the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. And ironically, I didn't pay attention to this then, but it was right around the time when people were starting to question the security that was surrounding Charlie Kirk. So I'm not really sure if that was like kind of forced for them to come out and say that to throw off our scent of these guys. But we're gonna get into some footage here shortly, and I'm gonna be mainly focusing on this guy. I think that everything that this guy did, along with another person, another older guy, gray haired guy that had a hat on as well, is very egregious. And Cash Patel, you cannot call yourself the FBI director if you haven't brought these guys in and looked into their background and what they have been doing leading up to and after Charlie Kirk's assassination. This is why we don't trust you anymore. That's why we feel like that you're just a pawn. You don't have the power that you thought that you was gonna have, and we just don't believe you anymore because you did not question these guys. At least we don't know that you did. We don't know the extent. Well, you had to talk to him because you got the footage from this guy. So before we get into the footage, let's talk about exactly what this guy did. Well, no. Let's play out a scenario. I want you guys to imagine you're driving down the street and you happen to come up on policemen and detectives at a crime scene with crime tape surrounding it, and you parked your car, you went under that crime scene tape, and you just started to walk around that crime scene tape, or within that crime scene perimeter, and you picked up a shoe, a backpack, or something in that scene. I want you to imagine what would happen to you if you were to do something like that within an active crime scene. Just think about what first of all, if you make it that far into the crime scene, and granted, I know that this was before there was a crime scene established, but we clearly know that that was the crime scene. Not only do you touch the pair of shoes, but you step on the pair of shoes, you put them on, like you just do some egregious stuff. What would happen to you? You would be in jail. You would be investigated. and you 100% will be a suspect on that list of that crime scene. So with that knowledge, because we all watch crime scene crime shows, we watch CSI Miami, all of them. With that in mind, why was this guy never arrested and charged with tampering with a crime scene, especially with one that has been as high profile as this one with Charlie Kirk? Ask yourself that. Now, I thought that was weird from the beginning. He stood on the chair that Charlie Kirk was shot in, grabbed the footage from behind Charlie Kirk that would show more evidence of who shot Charlie Kirk, and no charges are pending against him. That is weird. And in my opinion, now with the footage that's been coming out, is cynical. So I'm gonna stop talking about that right now. We're gonna get into some of the footage. Um, okay. I'm gonna. I didn't mean to do that. I will move the scene around. First, I want to go into the footage of this news channel the day that it happened, and you're gonna come to find out that this is actually become a recurring thing, as it opposed to this footage that shows the actions of the security people, or the security detail, and specifically this guy in the gray on the day that he was assassinated. So we're gonna unmute this for a second and we're gonna play it. This is the news coverage of the shooting the day of. I don't think you guys can hear that, so bear with me a moment to actually get that to work on you guys' end. Go to my mixer here. Put that there. And now you should be able to hear it on your end. Nope, you cannot hear it on your end. What's going on here on my end? What's going on, everybody? Again, thank you for coming in. If you are sticking around watching this, I'm just trying to make sure that you guys can hear what I'm getting ready to play. Not really sure why it's not playing on you guys' end. But even if I don't get it to play on you guys' end, which I'm not really sure why it's not gonna deter stop us from talking about or showing you exactly what I'm getting at here. hmm Let's see. Put it here and maybe play it like that. See? Great. There we go. Okay, awesome. That'll work. Okay, let's go back to this video. Again, this is video of the news coverage the day of the shooting. And you're going to find out that this is recurring on every piece of video so far, besides one video, which I don't think they're going to let it stay up that long. You're going to see. In America over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence? Great. Thousands. Notice what happens here, right? Immediately after the shot, they pause this right before we can see
when a single shot rang out.
Do you know how many mass shooters this guy's doing in America over the last 10 years? He's talking to somebody before it happens, which is fine. You're not counting gang violence. Great. Every video besides one video, they never show what this guy did initially after Charlie Kirk was shot. And you would think that if he's a part of security detail, either he's going to be going to Charlie Kirk to try to stop the bleeding from going on wherever he's shot from, or he will be securing a path to get him out of there. But no, this is not what this guy did. Actually, what this guy did is, yeah, okay. What this guy did was his reflexes was as fast as a cat was chasing a mouse. it's almost as he anticipated like 3, 2, okay, happen, let's go. So doesn't matter, Kazir. Didn't need you here, no way. Appreciate it, brother. Um, so the what this guy did was almost as he was anticipating this to happen, and it's like, okay, plan into action. Let's get the moving. Now, we could, about some small fraction of imagination, be very, very wrong, but I highly, highly doubt it when you put everything together as it pertains to the security detail of Charlie Kirk. So now that we know that they cut this off, because cut off what he did, and maybe because they don't want to show what's going on with Charlie Kirk, and they could have blurred that, blah blah blah. But this wouldn't be so funny to me if every video of every news station or every outlet or every media, like everything that we can find about this shooting incident, it does the same thing. It always cuts off there. It's by chance that we got this little footage that we're going to show you now. There's another YouTuber
Thousand.
that actually did a synopsis of this already in his own words, and I want to I want to show it, but I don't want to like bite off of his presentation really, because he actually did a really good job. But I do think I would be remiss to not show it. Yeah, I want you to. We'll probably go back a little bit and listen to his breakdown of it, because he actually did a really good job. I'll try to put his description in below as well. But if you just go to YouTube and type in this title, it'll pop up. You'll see it.
After Charlie is shot.
Watch what this guy did immediately after Charlie was shot. Immediately, watch this.
After Charlie is shot. Okay.
Look, first thing he did was point at this guy here in the black, which was the first guy on the first page that I sent you. And instead of going to aid Charlie or clear the path, watch what he does.
Hey, so you can see he glances over and notices Charlie's bodyguard and others coming to Charlie's aid. So he turns in the opposite direction and then starts to sprint away from the scene, in which one would assume would be to rush for help. You'd think he's looking for paramedics, looking to notify an ambulance, or jumping in the driver's seat of the SUV, ready to haul tail out of there once they place Charlie inside. So let's see what he actually does.
Just look at how fast, how immediately that was. Just listen. This, if there was a gunshot shot around me, first thing it's gonna startle me because I'm not expecting it. So I'm gonna make a flinch. I'm gonna try to figure out where it's going from. I'm gonna do exactly what the people in the crowd did. We're gonna duck down. We're gonna take cover. But especially him being security, you need to know exactly like where the potential threat is. This guy is not worried about a threat. He is not looking towards that direction. He immediately looked at the other two people that we now, that we now know were communicating and throwing hand signals at each other. He immediately looked at this guy. He made some gesture at him, and he went the other way. But let's see what he went to the ran the other direction to do.
Inside. So let's see what he actually does.
He's taking off here. And 3, bam! Here he is here. This is the same guy. He has a cell phone out, filming them bringing Charlie Kirk to the SUV. Like that was his initial thought. That instead of going to Charlie to aid him, to going to get the car ready, instead of making sure that there's no other threats around, he immediately took off, went to the top of this little hill here, and yeah, he just started filming. Like, why? In what world is that a natural reaction to for a security detail or a person that's he's talking to the security detail, so he has some association with him. Why would that be the first thing for you to do? I'm just asking the question.
Thank God he was there to film everything in the parking lot because that was what Charlie needed the most in that moment. So after seeing
I
Charlie shot, he sprinted away to the parking lot to step on top of this little wall here so he could film it all for some reason. And this was part of Charlie's security team.
why? Why would he do that? Timmy, I get that a lot. A lot of people say Adrian Brunner. I get that a lot. But why would he do that? And it's not only the fact that he did it, the timing of how fast he did it. He didn't flinch at a gunshot. He immediately went into action. Bam, I'm doing this. Okay, let me go get in position. That's what he did. So that was the first thing that is like, no, something is off. Then not only did he do that, he went back to the crime scene, stood on the chair that Charlie Kirk was shot at, and reached up and got the video footage from behind Charlie. And he said something to one of his friends that asked him, one of his colleagues that asked him why he did that. And I don't want to play the footage, but it was on Candace played it on her podcast the other day. But supposedly his response was the reason he went up there and took the SD card out was because people are evil. So that was the reason why you messed up a crime scene, you contaminated a crime scene, took video evidence that would have given us definitive proof of the angle in which Charlie Kirk was shot from. Hmm? This guy should be suspect number one. I don't think Tyler Robinson. I don't think that he pulled the trigger. He could have pulled the trigger, but common sense tells us that he did not pull the trigger. I do think he's involved in some way. Whatever his position was, we don't know yet, but we don't think that he was the trigger man. I also don't think that the guy in the gray was the trigger man. Obviously, he was not the trigger man. However, he is a domino that can lead us right to what actually happened to Charlie Kirk and why it happened. Because there's no doubt he knows. There's no doubt. If you have any common sense about people like human reaction, why this guy over here in the blue, who's probably a part of his security team as well. He's not taking off. He's looking to try to figure out what's going on. Or is there any more people coming towards me? He's using this pole as a little cover, but he's not taking off. Now, the other thing that I want you to see is this other guy right here. This is the third guy here. This is the third guy. But this guy here, at first you would think that I know you can take this a few different ways, but it's almost as if this guy body slam, well not body slam, but he like slams Charlie to the floor. And you would think that, yeah, you want to get him out of the line of fire. So that would make sense. But now that we look at the hand signals that he was giving along to the guy that was over here that's gonna rush in behind him, and also in conjunction with the person that immediately looked at him, was that on purpose? Was that to keep Charlie down, to make sure he was pinned down and not able to um move at all? Um, you can't really look into it too much, but it brings it up the question of why he did that. So we're gonna see if we can see that
What
here.
he does after Charlie is shot. Okay,
Now he flinched a little bit, but it wasn't the guy in the black. He flinched just a little bit, but to me it wasn't a real flinch. It was a, oh, I need to have some kind of reaction to a gunshot.
shot. Okay, so you can see he glances over and notices Charlie's bodyguard and others coming to Charlie's aid. So he
See,
turns
you
in
see
the
how he just pushes Charlie out of that chair,
opposite direction and
bam,
then
to the
starts
ground.
to sprint away from the scene, in which one would
I don't know. That sets off a little odd to me as well. So with that being said, tell me, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? What was that? Was what the guy in gray did totally legit? Was that a natural reaction for somebody in as the part of his security detail? Would you have done that if you was a part of his security detail? Would you be pulling out your cell phone to capture them carrying his body after he has been shot to a vehicle? I don't think security detail has any kind of job duties of a cameraman. I think that we have social media people for that. Now, the other thing that this guy point out is that there's a camera here, there's a camera there. We know that there's a camera back here. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see that. Another thing that this guy points out is that there's a camera. You can't see my cursor. Let me make my cursor uh, available to you. I don't really like to show the cursor, but we're going to show the cursor this time. So we know
Would assume
that
would
there's a camera here, there's a camera there, there's a person that was like in front over here. I don't think it was this person, but there's a cameraman here. And we know that there's a camera behind Charlie. And if you watch this video footage, I'll put the link down to it. There's another person that was over here doing camera work as well. But that person was aiming more towards the crowd. And I think this might be the person he that just dug down. Why, if we got all these high definition cameras, why is all the footage that we're getting from the FBI so grainy? And everybody is raising the same point. Why is it so grainy? Some of it has been proven to be altered. Timestamps not right. It doesn't add up with transmissions from the security detail. Why? Why? We got all these cameras around Charlie. We've seen how Charlie's um his debates look. We've seen this before. Why can't the FBI give us, if this happened the way that the truth is the truth. You cannot hurt a case just because you show us exactly what happened. In fact, I think that the opposite would happen. Only thing that you're gonna do is get us on your side of going while you're going through the court case, because right now nobody is on board with you guys holding Tyler Robinson right now and saying that he's the shooter and then proposing the death penalty when we don't have any proof that he's the actual shooter. We have more evidence to show that this security detail is more of a suspect and done more to hurt the case than Tyler Robinson. Why is that? Just fruit for thought. Fruit for thought. All right. Now we're gonna move on here again. Move along here again. There was
to rush
something
for
else
help.
that I did want to bring to you guys' attention besides the fact that, um, yeah, I'm gonna go through it again. Talking about TikTok and the way that they have been limited to post. Unless you just have like a huge following that's looking for your um post every day, if you're talking anything about the security guys or anything that's not in alignment with the FBI as it pertains to what happened with Tyler Robinson being if you're not on board with Tyler Robinson being the actual shooter and you oppose that view, your posts are being regulated and suppressed. And there's no different than me. I'm a small creator. Don't get me wrong. So I understand that not a lot of people is going to see my posts. But again, the 600 followers that I do have, they follow me just so they can see the content that I put out. They are in alignment with the way I think, and they want to see the things that I put out. So there's no reason that as soon as I put out a post in opposition to what the FBI has put out about Charlie Kirk's assassination, that I should be limited like that. So I'm going to end this stream by saying this, guys. If you are one of the people that enjoy the way that I run my social media and you want to see more content, guys, just continue to like the videos or the photos or the posts. That way we can break through this algorithm and let TikTok know even more that you want to see this type of stuff. So I can't do it on my end. Only thing I can do is make the content, but I put a lot of time and effort into trying to come up with ideas and concepts. And even though it's a lot of shorts, but that stuff take time to record and re-record and then edit and put on. So if you can like, subscribe, and that way we can let TikTok know that you are not going to um, determine who we can and cannot listen to. Because if they do it to little old me, which nobody's really seeing besides these 600 people, just imagine what they'll do to somebody like a Candace Owens or Carson Tucker that they really want to silence. And with that being said,